Hello everybody, it is Kosif here and welcome to the live stream. There's quite a few of us, so I'm going to introduce everybody right now. So first off we have Colton,
Hello.
we have Tristan,
Hi.
and we have Lindsay.
Hello.
So this is four of us here, so that's quite the well, it's been the largest we've had, and the last largest we had was like three. But anyways, this stream, so I'm just going to sort of introduce you sort of like the area I'm working on. As I did say, this is South Kandarin, so I'm just going to show you the areas, what I'm working with, and then I'm going to start detailing the outskirts, so, well, not the outskirts of the area. This is a continuation stream of the last one, so this, you could call this part 2. The last stream, what I did was I detailed, well not detailed, I put down all the buildings of like where they go, and so pretty much for scaling wise as well. So first off, to the north we have the outskirts of Ardoing. As you can see, the bridge path going over, and then you have you got the clock tower here, you got the monastery here, you've got the Tower of Life, and you've got the Necromancer Tower in the corner. So obviously this is South Kandarin, so the area is south of Ardoing pretty much. So this includes the fight arena, which consumes pretty much the entire South Kandarin. To the east we have Port Khazard, and to the south, which isn't detailed at all because it's on the outskirts, we have the Yanil. So this is just the Yanil wall, so I know where, sort of like how far to build. But yeah, this is where Yanil would go, but I'm not going to be building Yanil in South Kandarin, to my knowledge. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. So right now, all I'm doing is I'm in Runescape at the moment, and I'm going to be detailing the land pretty much, because at the moment it looks really bland, and there's only one type of grass, and there's no detail at all on the terrain, so enjoy. So, for the group podcast, if you would call, we're going to be talking about a few topics. The first topic is something which has been brought up quite often, I guess. And while we're talking about these, you are feel free to comment or ask any questions, and we'll take a little pause and answer them. So feel free to ask any questions at any time. But the first topic is how different would what's the difference between Molior RS and Runescape? So does anybody want to start with after that?
Oh, I'd like to start. Well, I want to first say that it's kind of well, it's at a different perspective. Kind of more like a Skyrim kind of game, where it's more. I mean, RuneScape is completely D&D, but Molior RS kind of touches platforming. Um, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I would guess RuneScape is obviously top down, so I guess it's more, more. I'm gonna guess more immersive, maybe. um, with that, I guess RuneScape is. I'm trying to think of the difference, which is obviously the topic. RuneScape, it feels very cartoony, and it's because you're top down. You aren't really sort of like in the game, in my opinion. You can look at the roofs of houses. It just feels like you're not playing. Well, you're not like inside the game, but you are playing the game pretty much.
It feels sort of arcadey compared to Moliar. Like yeah, exactly what you said. It's more cartoonish. There's sort of like an art theme. It's like crayoned or something like that. It just looks more like clay.
Yeah.
And RuneScape is a grind fest, and probably will be for the rest of its life cycle.
Yeah.
where Molior is more of a immersive experience with exploring and stuff like that. Um, maybe regarding like player interaction, it'll be like I forgot. Can we duel people, or is that no longer there? Like in the open, dueling
It's
others.
it's not. Uh, it will be there, but I meant it. No, it won't be there. I've totally forgot. Dueling is something. It's dueling won't be so like Well, what do you mean by dueling? Do you mean like duel anybody anywhere?
Yes.
No, that won't be available. Well, that won't be there
Okay.
because of the mechanics. I'll just explain the mechanics so you understand a little bit more. The mechanics are pretty much like you have a playlist. You see who's on the list, of course. There's an option in Neverwinter Nights 2 to sort of like if you don't like somebody, you can make them hostile, so you can pretty much attack them. So, although that might sound good, because if there was somebody you didn't like, you could attack them, but say if I'm walking in Varrock and I've just bought some new armors and weapons, I'd want somebody who I have no idea who is to make, to sort of like say they're hostile against me, and then just kill me. How death works is obviously if you die anywhere in the game at the moment, you lose all your items and you respawn in Lumbridge. So there's no safe death, for example, and at the moment, if we had that setting, so you could could say duel, it would pretty much be like PvP worlds, which isn't good because you don't want to kill anybody anywhere, pretty much, because that's not fair, of course. It'll have its massive difference. There's no advantages to it, in my opinion. So yeah, that's why it won't be there,
Alright.
because you could just easily kill somebody and loot them.
Yeah. So where I was headed with that is yeah, there are tons of separations, like the looks of it, how it plays, the mechanics, how trading works, sneaking, how quests work, the amount of NPCs, the monsters, AI, bossing. There's tons of different things. So when we said we wanted to make it just like RuneScape, we meant mainly skills and the look of it. The feel is completely different. It feels like I don't know, exploring a new world that is RuneScape. It's certainly hard to tell though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna because this is for you, Linz. You joined our team a few days ago, like I don't know, 2 days ago, pretty much. But this is obviously from a first opinion. So obviously, just because you joined our team, don't say our project's God's left testicle. It was the first time ever you went inside the project and sort of like ran around. You didn't run around much areas, but you ran around the area. So what was your first impressions? You went to Lumbridge, rode to Varrock and Varrock. So what was your first impressions when you sort of like first logged in?
It was RuneScape, but with the kind of feel that Skyrim gives you, like with the details and so like immediately I knew where I was going because I play RuneScape on a regular basis, but it gives you a different feel than RuneScape does. It was like a Skyrim kind of feel,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
This was what I wanted to slightly. Well, this was what I was trying to get at when I was talking about the difference between RuneScape and Molior RS. Like I said, with RuneScape, it's cartoony. You're looking top down, so you can see like the top of tree. Well, the trees are relatively small in RuneScape. you can look at like the top of roofs and all this stuff, and it feels very like you're not in the game. But with Molior RS, if you're in, well, when you're in game, you know, the trees tower overview, the buildings are like actual building sizes, so they are in RuneScape, but they aren't all single floors, which like in RuneScape, the buildings are big, so you're looking up at the stuff, whereas in RuneScape you're looking down, which gives it the feeling of like a game like Skyrim. I know not a lot of people play Skyrim, but so we can't always say it's like Skyrim and expect people to think, but it makes you feel like you're involved with the game. I guess Tristan, because you're you're the newest. What was your first impressions when you joined? When you logged in for the first time?
I'd say it was well, it was kind of like it didn't feel like RuneScape to me actually. It was kind of like you know, because I never played Neverwinter Nights 2.
Yeah.
It was just like a new game. I'm trying to think because it did remind me of a game. And I never played Skyrim, by the way, but that was you know, I've seen Skyrim YouTube videos, and there's some. Um, it was kind of like this game called Dark Cloud that I played.
Ah, I love Dark Cloud.
You
So,
have,
yeah.
you have.
Yeah, I love that game so much. I Dark Cloud was very cartoony, but it had the same aspect. It was like an anime game, pretty much. So obviously, it did look like a cartoon. But yeah, I guess I can slightly see what you mean by that now. It, the controls and how you control your character are relatively the same-ish.
That was one of the biggest surprises that you could change like the play style,
Yeah.
switching between character and exploration, strategy. Um, the biggest surprise to me was that well, the one thing that I liked the most was how the NPCs would like actually not just stand in one place, they would actually move around
Yeah.
and go about their daily lives. Yeah, it's kind of my dream to see, which maybe I'll start working on it, is to see farmers actually plowing the fields in.
Yeah.
Um,
I
Yeah, way back when I had first built the mines, I had a script that played a mining animation for the midgets and stuff in there. Um, and that was neat, but it just looked really repetitive after a while. So like what you said, we should add that to some of the NPCs, but maybe not all of them. And that's really up to how powerful the server is, because that has, queue scripts and stuff like that.
well, I should say animations themselves are really cheap. They're like kilobytes. So we can do as many as we want.
um
I suck at animating, by the way. If anyone can animate better, please get on board now.
this actually brings up with something we discussed something we did a while ago, I guess. It's I just read Luke's comment. He says the fight arena looks like a concentration camp. Let me just give a quick sort of like what I'm actually doing in the toolset at the moment. It's the obviously the fight arena. There's a lot of Khazard places, so we've been thinking about making this place more of sort of like a town. In RuneScape at the moment, there's like literally about 30 guards all around this fight arena, and you've got all these houses on like around the fight arena, but these houses have like nothing in them. They're like storage rooms, so honestly don't know why there's so many storage rooms for literally like nothing. So what I'm probably thinking is we could probably make this like a small town, which is like a bad town. You know, you've got towns like Edgeville, Draenor, I know Rimington, and they're all very, they're very same feeling. You know, it's a nice place to visit. The atmosphere is friendly, the people are friendly, of course. So maybe Port, well not Port Kazadam, but the fight arena is sort of like different. So it's got this like muddy feeling and like the general atmosphere like this bad place would have. So what I'm doing is I'm making like the place look down in the dumps, because it is, it's full of Khazar troops which aren't like, they're pretty much seen as bad guys. So you're not going to see them, I don't know, jogging around the place. Everything's merry and jolly. Everything's going to be sort of like I don't know, rough, you could say. So there's going to be a lot of sort of like a mud and yeah, pretty much that. But back on topic, what I wanted to do too was talk about was you saying like you wanted to add like animations to things and all that. This sort of like goes into the environment as well. The trouble with a large game, especially with like no players in it at the moment, it's you're gonna feel lonely, and you don't want to feel sort of like lonely in an MMO. Obviously, our project's going to be quite large in area sizes, so you'd want to see like cities and towns empty. So I guess this comes into play of like you said, Tristan, with like the farmers. So I know they're NPCs, but it just makes the place a lot more lively, So say you walk through Lumbridge, it's a town. It's a rather a nice town. It's not going to be a ghost town, so it would be nice, and I think it would give a massive boost to the environment to see sort of like farmers going around the fields, planting, then like going home at night and sleeping and all that stuff. I think that would be like a really good sort of like feelings, and we've done this to areas in the past, to places like Falador. Falador was quite a big city, and it was pretty much like empty. There's no real like NPC, so what we did was like add NPCs around to like talk and do all these other things pretty much.
Yeah, and you kind of did it in Lumbridge too, with
Oh yeah.
roads and well, I think there was a farmer or something,
Yeah,
but
farmers.
that is like that has like a huge effect on the quality of the gameplay.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you're going out to do a quest at night to talk to someone, but they're not there because they're sleeping. So go home.
I guess that's part of the realism.
Yeah, too. All right. Should we move on to the second topic? Well,
Yeah, may as well. That the first topic was very basic, and there wasn't really much to talk about. I guess.
it's pretty damn,
Yeah.
Pretty
Before we move on
obvious
to
what the differences are.
second topic, just an update what I'm doing in the toolset. Obviously, this place is, we're trying to make it into a town, so what I'm going to probably do is like add mud paths, and once I've added these mud paths, they're just going to be paths, but they're going to be muddy, of course. I'm going to detail these around the, because what I've noticed in some places in games, they add like these paths, but then it's like everywhere else is like there's no grass, there's nothing, so we gotta just think about where people are walking. Right, so I'm gonna get the mud and pretty much just go around the places to make it more lively, but yeah, the next topic.
1 second. Luke9347 said, random muggings should happen if you carry too much money, or in other words, taxation. So yeah, with taxation, we could probably add that to
This
player-owned houses, um, player-owned shops, maybe mounts, and then sailing as well.
this has been considered, and it's a relatively cool thing, but it's not like a tax. So like I don't see why just because you're rich you should get taxed or something. But this goes for every player.
Yeah.
At night in cities, in towns, muggers will spawn and they'll be hostile and they'll roam around the city. So let's say you're in Varrock. Let's say it's turning nighttime, and you're out, I don't know, slaying, killing goblins, and you've collected a lot of loot. You want to go to Varrock and sell your stuff because you've got a ton of items and you want to sell it. So it's turned nighttime by the time you get to Varrock, and you're walking down a street, and it gets nighttime. You're gonna probably run into a mugger because these muggers are gonna be walking around, the towns and all that stuff. So it's gonna be a really cool encounter, like a random event. There maybe add guards as well. So like if you're walking around, I don't know, if you're walking around a town and you run into a mugger, obviously you don't want to be, you don't want it to have be the case of you're scared to go out you're scared to go into towns at night because there's going to be muggers and all that stuff. Maybe there'll be a few guards stationed, so if you do get attacked by a mugger, you can run to a guard and the guard will kill him, pretty much. So I guess that slightly is an encounter, but there's a lot of different encounters we plan to add, if we include stuff like sailing and all the other places, then yeah. There'll be random pirates attacking your ship and all that stuff, pretty much. It'll be cool.
Hey Colton, talk about the reputation system you were wanting to do with sailing.
All right. I'll talk about that with the third topic because that's sort of a relative to it, right, Aaron?
Maybe the third topic we're going to be talking about this. I kept it a secret from everybody, so I want to get your your ideas straight then instead of having time to think about it. But the second topic, do you want to introduce it, Colin?
Yep. Okay. So the second topic is what type of community will we have? Not what we want to have, but what we could possibly have with the current YouTube thing we have right now.
Yeah.
So who wants to start out? I could start out if you want me to.
Sure.
Okay, so my opinion on it is since we generally have friendly comments, our Molior RS's player base won't be full of D-bags like current RuneScape is. There's a little over 1,100 people subscribed to us, and we only get around 100 some views per video. So we can't really be sure with those numbers. They're still really small. But yeah, so like I said, based on the comment sections, it'll probably be very friendly at first, but eventually turning into a cesspool like modern day RuneScape is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my opinion on it.
I guess my opinion would be pretty much what everybody else. Especially, I know Jeremiah isn't with us at the moment, but he's part of the team. The first time he joined, I joined with him, and we ran around the entire world for 60 seconds. Not 60 seconds. Just go. We ran around the entire world for 60 minutes. What am I on about? Not 60 minutes. Not 60 at all. Though. We ran around the place for 6 hours. There we go. I finally got it. And I guess that would be a lot of the case for a lot of people as well. I was talking about this earlier, and it's been brought up in some video comments as well, so like which I'll explain in a bit. But I guess it's like you're not gonna join the game. You're like, okay, I'm gonna go straight to goblins because I know where they are. Not everything is 100% like RuneScape. It is slightly different. But that being said, I guess it's more of just having fun in sort of like exploring the lands. It's not like going to be like a massive grind fest at the moment. I guess it's like could be, but you know it's not going to be the same. But that's just my opinion. So, Linz, Tristan, what's your opinion on it?
Honestly, I really hope it doesn't get to the point where there's a bunch of douchebags and freaking XP whores. Excuse my language. Because that's kind of what's killing RuneScape at the moment. No one ever wants to do anything that doesn't benefit them.
Yeah.
But I think that's every MMO in general. It does get like that eventually, but
It's RuneScape at the moment, I guess. Well, we was talking about this earlier. So I may as well bring it up now. It's every update at the moment. It's all about sort of like XP gains. What was it? I was reading the high level forums. You know, a great place to find elitism. At high level forums is pretty much anybody who's maxed in RuneScape, and it's a forum, of course. There was a thread made, and it was about a new quest. I'm trying to think what the quest was, but there was a quest which was coming out in like this year or next year, but it was just like a fun quest. It wasn't serious quest. It wasn't a storyline like, you know, part of the Marjarat or the gods. It was just a fun quest, and people were moaning at it. It's like we don't need another fun quest. You know, there's no point. The rewards are bad, and it's like everything doesn't have to be the next best thing. It's especially with the high level forums, everybody expects like, you know, the next tier weapons, and I think it just, in my opinion, it's never been that. And I've played RuneScape for a while. It goes with skills as well. You know, everybody wants the next best way of training, and it's, if you, especially with the Dark Light, you know, the Dark Light in RuneScape, in my eyes, has always been a newbie weapon. It's pretty much been bad, but you know, if you're a noob and you've got no real good weapon, then a Dark Light is good. But now, you know, apparently the Dark Light's hitting like 10k damage on demons, and it's only like, it should be like a level 10 weapon or something, so why is it like better than Drygores, which are level 90? But when Jagex make changes, well, when they did make changes to the Dark Light, everybody cried about it. It's like, come on, the Dark Light is so useless now. And then I'm sitting there like, of course it's useless, it's like a level 1 weapon. But it's stuff like that which annoys me, you know, everybody needs like their best top thing, like if you nerf anything, Jagex are complete idiots. But sometimes you have to sacrifice the good to sort of like get the better in the long run. But at the moment I think the damage is done. This goes for anybody in here, so no, Colton, Tristan, Linz, how do you think we should monitor like things? So let's say, for example, I know, cows give amazing gold and amazing XP because, I don't know, any reason. Do you think we should handle that situation? Like, should we nerf cows, or what's all your
Nerf
opinions?
cows?
Cows,
Because they're too powerful? What?
Cows were just an example. Let's say.
Oh yeah, okay.
I'm trying to think of something good now. Let's say. Oh God, I do not.
I don't think you should nerf anything unless it's being abused.
Well,
Like, if it's seriously being abused by every player in the game, then yeah, you should nerf it. But if one or two players find out, what's it gonna do? What's it gonna harm?
I guess a good example would be if something's good and a lot of people are doing it, should it be nerfed? For example, this was recently, well, slightly recently in RuneScape. People sort of slightly found out that bursting and barraging and chinning at the abyss was, the top XP gains. So, Jagex felt like they shouldn't, you shouldn't sit in a dungeon or cave or whatever the abyss is. You shouldn't sit there and get like the top XP gains. So they nerfed it. So do you think they should? Well, we should. So say if hill giants were the best XP in game, do you think we should nerf it? And the reason for nerfing it is to sort of like push people outwards into sort of like different areas as well.
No, I think we should make a quest that has a even more XP monster that is way awesomer. So that
I think we should.
people will sort of quest it.
I think we should plan everything out. So, like plan everything out so it's balanced, and then every update that comes, we would just fit it in so it's balanced with everything else.
Yeah. What about you, Linz?
Yeah, your mic. Okay. I don't know. I think if as long as I'm not abusing it, it's fine. It's just where it comes to the point where it's being massively abused and not there's no other content in the game. Then I think that's when you need to nerf it. And but you said it's not as much of a grind as RuneScape is, so I don't know how. Like you said, I've only joined the team like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much of a grind this game really is, because I haven't really had much time to do much on it because I work and stuff. But I don't see this being a problem if it's not as much of a grind, because RuneScape is just one massive grind, and this one might not be.
Yeah.
And I think our main focus should be on gameplay and the experience, and well, not on big rewarding
Yeah.
items and such.
Yeah. A huge part of Molior is exploration and stuff. There's so much stuff to explore. So maybe people will adventure more than they grind. So there's that.
I'll just to jump in there to explain how it works. So in let's say the olden times in RuneScape, you would camp rock crabs for like I don't know, to like level 20 to like level 60, and then you'd go on to like something else, like if you're a ranger, you'd go on to like moss giants, and then you'd go on to something like even bigger, like lesser demons. So it's been like a meta for RuneScape. You'd go from like rock crabs to another place until like, which is very, very boring in my opinion. So I may as well get this out of the way, so in case you think like, oh, we should do it like this, we should do it like that. But so just to explain this bit, how it works in Neverwinter Nights 2. So obviously, if it works in Neverwinter Nights 2, it works in our project. If you're a level 1 and you kill a level 1, you get decent XP. Say if you're a level 1 and you kill a level 2, you get slightly more XP. So if you're level 2 and you kill a level 1, you get less XP. So do you see where I'm sort of like going? So if you're, let's say we had that exact same scenario in our project as a RuneScape scenario. So let's say rock crabs were level 10, and we were level 8. We would train at rock crabs because we're getting good XP, but once we get to like level 11, we're going to notice some XP dropping from each kill we get. So say if we got to a point where like we're level 15 and we're killing a level 10, we're going to get absolutely like shit XP because it's such a low level and we're probably like one hitting them. So what this does is, I've played single player of Molior RS, and I can give a first-hand experience on this. You have to keep changing areas. To my knowledge, in RuneScape, not RuneScape, in Molior RS, the general path, we've only got free-to-play land, so there's not much training spots. Whereas in members area, you'd have like you have Slayer pretty much. So there's a crap ton of monsters everywhere. You've got the rock crabs. You've got like you've got more of a variety. So like there's moss giants in more places. There's hobgoblins in more places and all that stuff. So, but in my experience with Molior RS, I killed goblins for a good amount. I did some quests to get chunks of XP. Then I did a lot of skilling to get my upgrade my armors, and then when I got to like level 6, I had to sort of obviously leave away from goblins because I was getting like 1 XP per kill. I had to go to skeletons because skeletons was like level 7, but I would say roughly after level 7 or after skeletons you go on to like zombies, then you go on to like hobgoblins, to I don't know, hill giants, to moss giants, and to scorpions, and all that stuff. So it's not like RuneScape where you could just camp one spot forever and ever. Let's say if you've got good decent armor at low level, I don't know. Let's say you're a level 2 in full iron. Maybe you don't want to kill goblins because you're getting like average XP. You could try test your luck and go to like skeletons and get like a really good XP because they're a lot higher level. So in this, with Neverwinter Nights 2, it sort of enforces that sort of like rule, if you could say, where you can't, well, you can camp it one spot forever, but really you're gonna get terrible XP.
I have a question for you, Aaron.
Yeah,
It
sure.
might be a newbie question, but whatever. You said, are we actually gonna have Slayer like we do in RuneScape?
Yes, this was part of a release, well, not part of a release of the server, but we, Marshall V is a programmer for he's a modder for Neverwinter Nights 2. I was gonna say programmer, but he's a modder, so he's made a lot of content for Neverwinter Nights 2. We use a lot of his work, such as respawn monsters, the loot tables and all that stuff is from his work. He has a quest one. With this quest one, it works exactly like Slayer, so it's called Deeds, but we can rename it to like Slayer Task. So how it would work is, you would talk to a Slayer monster, you talk to a Slayer master, and he'll say, "Hey, can you kill 5 cows?" You'd go kill 5 cows, and you'd go back to the Slayer Master, and you'd hand it in for some gold and XP. So yeah, we will
Okay.
have Slayer.
That brings me to my question. Will the Slayer monsters be scaled to your level? Because like, I know if I go to like a newbie Slayer master, I can get Goblin's task pretty easily. So will it be scaled, or will it be like in RuneScape where there's level 80, 60, whatever?
Yes.
Because like you said, there won't be as much XP with the lower level if you're a higher level.
Yeah, that's actually a good question. So Slayer. Well, let's just start with the basics of Slayer. So Slayer in Molior RS, I mean. Slayer in Molior RS, it will be hopefully the same as like Slayer in RuneScape. Whereas it's not at the start, there's not many monsters at low level which drop unique items. It's when you get to like past level 70, you could kill gargoyles for like granite maul. You could kill, I know, abyssal demons for the whips, pretty much. So for your question, Linz, there will be different Slayer masters, and the reason, obviously, the Slayer, it would be a good way to, like in RuneScape, it would be a good way to sort of like change up your fighting scenario. So, say if I was a level 1 and I wanted to do Slayer, I would go to the Tavily Slayer Master, which only gives out low level tasks. So, if you were like a high level, you wouldn't want to go to Tavily because he's only going to give out like, I don't know, let's say goblins and cows, pretty much. We haven't made Slayer creatures yet, so that's all I can say. But if you got like your levels up and your Slayer level up, you'd want to go to like the higher ones. Let's say Banaka in the Etril dungeon, who would give you stuff like I don't know. It could give you like green dragons. Trying to think of a Slayer, lesser demons and all that stuff. Does that answer your question?
Sort of, but like, so you're gonna have like for like every 10 levels, are you gonna have a new Slayer Master or?
Um, we would, I guess.
Because the way that works, it doesn't seem like it's worth it once you get past like level 12 Slayer and you're still using the level like 1 Slayer
Oh yeah,
Master.
there will be different Slayer masters. In RuneScape, it's like how it works is it's based on combat as well. So we'll probably do it based on your level, not like your Slayer level, but your actual level. So let's say you never did Slayer when you were a noob, but you know you want to do Slayer because you want to kill like an abyssal demons. You'd want to start like from the very beginning, and you're going to be getting tasks like kill 10 goblins, because you're just going to be one hitting them. You're going to get you're going to get loot, but it's going to be crap too because, I don't know, let's say you're somebody in like full rune. I guess we could base it off combat level. So let's say you're level 1. The person will give you like level 1 to 4, or 1 to 5 creatures. But then let's say you get to like level 10. Obviously, like you just said, you don't want to be killing goblins and all that stuff. You could go to a Slayer Master who gives out level 10 to 15 level creatures. Then it'll keep going up and up and up, but you have to be that level. So if you're a level 1, you couldn't get like a Slayer task from somebody who deals with like level 30 creatures.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We'll be adding like the RuneScape Slayer Masters, but I don't think there's enough for like the level gap. Actually, I guess there is. In Neverwinter Nights 2, level 30 is the highest. So obviously you're new, Lynn, so I'll explain it to you. So you're probably thinking, I don't know, maybe you're not, but for anybody who's watching as well, so you're probably thinking, you know, level 30, that's terrible, because in RuneScape you can get to like level 138. We've changed the XP, so getting to level 30 is like getting to level 138. So if we're making like a Slayer creature for like each level gap, that's 4 Slayer Masters. Not Slayer creature, I meant Masters. So, but there'll probably be 4 Slayer Masters. So there could be the one in Tavli for level 1. Level 10 could be Vanak, who's in Edril Dungeon. Level 20 could be I forget her name, Chowder or something. The fairy in Xanaris. And level 30 could be the person in Shiloh Village. I don't think we'll probably add the Slayer creature in I keep saying Slayer creature. I don't think we'll probably add the Slayer Master in Polvinech. I just don't see if there's any like point in that one.
Okay, I got one more for you, and then we're done with Slayer, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's completely fine with me.
So with the Slayer Masters, in RuneScape you have like you can kill like gargoyles at level 40. Slayer, are you gonna do that too? You're gonna add like certain Slayer levels to kill certain Slayer monsters?
It's going to be tough to do that. I think I might know just a way to do it. I don't think we'll be having. It's just obviously my opinion. Sorry if I'm excluding you and Colton and Tristan, but like I always say, this is just my opinion at the moment. And then obviously at a later date, when we come to the point where we're making Slayer, we'll all agree on it together. But this is obviously just my opinion at the moment. We could probably have like the creatures not requiring a level, but like I said, Slayer will give you like well, let's just, for example, let's say gargoyles didn't have a Slayer level a Slayer requirement to kill, so you could probably be killing like gargoyles, trying to get like granite mauls and all that stuff. But then let's say like somebody who's doing Slayer, Let's say you get a gargoyle task, you kill the gargoyles, it's, you know, decent loot and XP, but then when you hand in that task, you're going to get additional XP and gold and all that stuff. So I guess it's, in my opinion, it would just be fine. Obviously, if you like, just because gargoyles don't have a Slayer requirement, you're not going to be able to kill them on like, I don't know, a lower level person. I don't know, let's say gargoyles were level 30. You're not going to be like level 10 and killing gargoyles. But I guess I don't think they would have a requirement unless we kept them in some sort of like locked containment. Let's say there's a room which has a door leading to it and there's gargoyles in this room. The only way I can think of like adding a requirement for gargoyles is you would go up to that room and like try and open the door, and the door would say, you know, you're not high level enough Slayer, so go away. But something like that would be very unrealistic, but that's literally the only way I guess would work. Actually, never mind. No. What I was going to think of is completely different. But like, I guess if we were talking about, you know, the Slayer Masters requiring combat, like we were saying, I know, the Fairy and Xanaris, you had to be like level 20 to be. I don't see how Slayer skill would be relevant if it's based on combat, because at the moment in RuneScape, Slayer Masters are like, what I'm getting at is maybe we shouldn't have the Slayer skill, but have Slayer. What's all your opinions on that? So everybody, pretty much.
Yeah, well, for Slayer, like many of the skills, quote unquote, we probably won't have an actual skill for it, but it's more of like an activity that awards XP and stuff. Possibly a skill cape, but since we haven't started on that skill specifically, I can't say for sure, so don't take my word for it. What about you, Jeremiah? Tristan, since shares in chat.
I kind of see skills. Well, we kind of do have to adjust skills to the game, to Neverwinter, but you know, that'd kind of make them unique, and later on we could come back and make them more RuneScape-ish.
Yeah. This goes on to the skilling, slightly skilling thing we're slightly working on. I guess it's like at the moment, we're not, I don't really want to talk about skills because we're working on it. So I don't want to say something then, you know, we're changing it as we speak. It's skills are, you're pretty much going to be the activities you do. So if you fish a fish, you're getting fishing XP. At the moment, because like I said, I don't want to talk about it much, but at the moment in the project, if you fish a fish, you're getting your total XP up, which is like your total level pretty much. So in the situation of Slayer, it would be, if you kill a gargoyle, you're getting XP, I guess, just XP. So that's leveling up your combat level, which, like I said, the highest combat level is 30. We would then have to add some sort of script, so it would check, hey, is this person on a Slayer task? If they are, reward them with Slayer XP, which I guess would be, I don't know, it's something I guess too early of a stage, because we're only really just touching the very basics of skills like fishing, for example. I guess we can't really explain really how leveling up Slayer would work, but like Colin said, I guess, well, Slayer could, like, just, obviously my opinion, I guess Slayer could just be more of a feature, like the scenario with dungeoneering, you know. A lot of people say dungeoneering is a mini game, not really a skill. So I guess that could be, like, situation with Slayer. I don't really see Slayer having a point of needing a level. It's 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 like if you're looking at it reality, you know, why do you need to be like this certain level to just stab something? You know, there's no special technique to it. I know sometimes you need to wear like, I don't know, Banshee, but what's stopping somebody with like level 1 Slayer just putting on some earmuffs? You don't need skill to wear earmuffs. But I guess I want to sort of like stop reskilling talk because we haven't really spoken much about it. So the third topic, which is a secret to you all, in the past streams, quite a long time ago, we've spoken of stuff like what's the, I don't know, 3 things you'd want to see in the project, what's the 3 things you'd want to do in the project, and all this stuff. So my question is, what are the... we'll only do one because there's a few of us here. So I'll start with you, Colton. What's the worst thing you'd want to... well, obviously not what you'd want to see. What's the worst thing you would see in Molior RS? Like, I'm going to knock out the obvious one and say microtransactions. So this is not going to be my my, I don't know, because I'm not going to answer my question as well, but let's just get rid of microtransactions. So for example, the worst thing I would see in Molior RS would be microtransactions and like people buying skills and weapons with real life gold. Well, not real life gold, real life money. So Colton, what would be the worst thing you'd not want to see in Molior RS? And you can answer whenever you're ready. I don't, if you're there.
So the question is, what don't I want to see come to Molior RS?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
But you can't say
not
microtransactions.
Counting like, okay, so not counting the obvious ones like selling accounts in gold and stuff like that.
Yeah, nothing rule breaking. So you can't say like, I don't want to see people selling their accounts. I don't want to see people selling gold. All that stuff, pretty much. It's very obvious, so there's no point saying it. So.
Yeah. That's a tough one. There's not really a lot of stuff that I don't want to see come to Molior RS. You'll have to probably give me a few minutes here so
Okay.
I can think about this thing.
Right, I'll go first then. So I can give you all. So Lindsay and Tristan, you get ready as well as you, Colin. Right, I haven't even come up with an answer, so I'm gonna think for a second. I guess the one thing I would hate to see. This sounds sort of dumb because we're developers and obviously we can stop this, but say if it was out of my hands, I guess the one thing I would hate to see would be Fashionscape. I would hate to see people running around in like, now obviously, you know, it's you can run around in outfits, but I would hate to see like people running around killing monsters and, I don't know, possibly bosses wearing like pretty much like outfits, although that would obviously be possible, but you would die. So I guess that would be my one. So I'd hate to see people like running around in, you know, outfits, cosmetic items, yeah, pretty much like cosmetic stuff. So yeah, that's my answer for it. Maybe not the best one, but it'll do. So whenever somebody ever's got a yeah, I'll let you guys think. So in the meantime, I'll talk about the tool set while you guys think. So
I've got mine.
oh, okay.
I'd hate to see Monopoly Scape.
That's actually a good one.
Oh, you stole my idea.
Oh.
That's fine. I'll think of another terrible.
So what do you mean by like? Well, I know what you mean, sort of like by a monopoly, but like give an example. Like what? How would you? How would it sort of like work in Molior RS, like a monopoly scenario?
Well, we talked about players being able to own things like own their own ships, own their own houses and businesses.
Oh yeah.
So when you have like merchants, um, merchants can kind of come together and completely control the economy of who gets what.
Yeah, I sort of know where you're coming from. Especially with say something like player-owned houses. I guess a monopoly of a version of player-owned houses. Say like all the houses have slightly been filled up. You're gonna see like there's gonna be I don't know one guy who's gonna be or say we're like a good few months into the let's maybe more better. Say we're 2 years into the server and like the server's really popular. There's a lot of progress going on and we've got a lot of work out and all that stuff. I guess one situation could be there's some like rich guy who's trying to buy every single house in the game, and for example, let's say he owns every house in Varrock and Falador. He could then be sort of like a douche and say like, hey, nobody's ever going to buy a house unless you buy like a Varrock slum house for 1 million gold. I guess that could be sort of like a monopoly scenario, but was that what you're sort of getting at?
Yep, you hit the ball on the nail.
So that's yours. Colton and Lynn's. You can still.
I have mine.
Okay, so do you want to go?
Yeah. I don't know if y'all even planning on introducing this or not, but it's something I really can't stand in RuneScape. It's useless items like party hats and black and Santa hats and shit like that are like ridiculous in price, and they're just cosmetics. They're useless. I would hate to see them to go up that far in price, like rares, useless rares. I don't even know if y'all plan on introducing that, but that's what I would hate to see, because I just think they're useless and who gives a crap.
It includes, well, especially with RuneScape now, like they're seen as like elitism item, I'd guess. But as far as cosmetics go, we have treasure trail items. Would that be involved?
If it's cosmetic, yeah. If it's not, if it actually has some use to it, then no. I guess I just don't like the idea of elitism in general, and it's really annoying.
In game at the moment, we have like items like a white beret, which like have no stats, so they're cosmetic only. So what you're saying is you would hate that.
I would hate to see that go up to like 1 bill where it's just completely useless. It does nothing. It's just a cosmetic.
Yeah. With something like what you said, like discontinued rares is pretty much, I guess, what you're saying. Then yeah, something like that would always go up in price because there's no way of ever getting it. But like, say like a white beret, I guess early on, say if somebody does a clue and they yell it, I guess it's not going to be expensive at the start because, or I guess it is because it's going to be probably one of its first. But nobody's going to want it because it's cosmetic. So, but again, it's it's always obtainable and there's always a chance of getting it. So, whereas in RuneScape, pie hats, yeah, I agree with you. I would hate to see some sort of like let's say party hat in game which we only gave to a handful, and then that price rocketing up, and like your banks, like a paper hat is pretty much like worth, I don't know, like 10 dragon plate bodies, something like that. But yeah, I agree with you on that. I would hate to see that. Colton, I don't know if you've got yours yet, so I'll probably talk about the toolset. With the toolset now, I've been working on the Fight Arena only at the moment. You've got the basic design, the muddy path. So what I wanted to do was sort of like describe how things work, like not how things work, but the general idea. So Um, I, the troops of Khazad, yeah, pretty much, yeah, they are called the troops of Khazad, or Khazar troops, whatever. They're only going to be walking around like the muddy paths, pretty much. Like, so that's why in some places, like in RuneScape, there's mud like everywhere, especially. So people aren't going to be walking around like the outside. Well, probably they are, but it's not going to be like a constant mudded path. But yeah, at the moment, the atmosphere for the fight arena is giving off a good vibe, I'd say. Um, the one question was just asked by Luke. Are we going to have clans, or are clans going to be introduced? And yes, we'll probably call them guilds because guild sounds more professional. This goes into the category of player-owned, not houses, but the player-owned situation. So there will be player-owned guilds. So let's say if me, Linz, Tristan, and Colton, we weren't the developers, but just friends playing the project or the server, or whatever, the game. We could say, hey, let's make a guild where we specialize in selling. Well, we're like a traders guild. We would unofficially make this guild. So in like RuneScape, you go to like the clan camp and you get like a clan vex. You join like a clan chat channel and that stuff. We won't. I don't think. Yeah, we can't really have that in Neverwinter Nights 2 because I guess it would be impossible. But the unofficial, we'll say, hey, we're part of this clan. I know maybe we could make some like forum posts to say like who's in the clan. We will then. This isn't a major priority, so this couldn't always change. But we will say, hey, here's well, let's say there's a warehouse in Varrock. We can buy this warehouse if we like save up enough gold. We will buy this warehouse, and this could be like where our shop is and where we store stuff. So let's say we specialize in selling. Let's say we specialize in selling ores and resources for skills. So like raw fish. Trying to think, raw fish, well, not raw ore, but like ore, logs, and all this stuff. So we will store all this stuff because obviously we don't want to say, hey, I mined 20 ore and I'm gonna stand in this warehouse for 10 minutes for waiting for somebody to buy it. So you would go to a warehouse and you would deposit all your ore. So let's say if for like 3 days, all 4 of us started to mine like I don't know, say we gathered like 2,000 iron ore. Obviously, this is like 2,000 iron ore. We can't carry this around with us because first off, imagine if we died. But with 2,000 ore, we would all store it in the warehouse where it's safe and only we can access it. So it's like a storage room. So say then we open our shop to the public. Players can then visit our shop. We can easily grab the ore from the warehouse and like sort of like trade it the player where they can buy it. So that would be like a cool scenario. Then we could build upgrades to our warehouse where the storage is bigger. Add display cabinets of some stuff. I know. Say if we were selling armor, we could add like display cabinets of like what we're selling better and all that stuff. But yeah, well, let's say you're like a PvP clan, and you had like this a hall, like a hall building, like one of these buildings in the tool set, like just one of these on their own. So like something like that. We could say, hey, we'll pretend I'm a developer. So like the clan could say, hey, we killed General Karad. Can you put like a statue in our like hall saying defeated General General Grador, and yeah, something like that. So we could have like boss trophies pretty much. And stuff like that. Yeah, clans would be like unofficial. You can add parties, like you can invite people to your party and then you can see where they are on the map. And if you're killing, you'd get like shared XP and all that. But yeah, that's my version of the clan. So what's your guys and guilds, of course. What's your ideas of like how you would like to introduce clans into the project?
Well, there's already a party system, so
Yeah.
that sounds like enough to me.
Well, excluding like I explained player-owned like guilds, so like you could own a building. So I, I would you like include any content which is like clan-based, say like clan wars?
Yeah, certainly.
What about something like player? I know there's a role-playing thing which has been going on in RuneScape for ages, which is like player-owned like guilds, not player-owned guilds, player-owned kingdoms, which is unofficial in RuneScape, like and it's all role-playing purpose only.
Oh god, I hate that. I hate that so much. I'm sorry,
Really?
but I hate that. That just makes me cringe so much. Like, people write stories about who's the queen and who's the king and all this. I cannot stand that. I do not ever want to see that come to anything that I build, ever. I don't want people making up stories about who did what and who did who. I mean, I'm tired of reading it on the fucking forums. I mean, I see every day, like, people dating and marrying each other and just like, I'm the new king of Lumbridge. I hate that so much. I'm sorry, but I really hate that.
I'm the king of Lumbridge, and here's my wife.
Yeah, exactly, stuff like that.
But I guess we would have no room to even do that sort of thing, I guess, because we would already have like the NPCs there, so we can't say, hey, this guild is like the ruler of Falador, because we'd have like the king of Falador already there.
Yeah, it's really cringy because, I mean, I don't like it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I guess there's not really much to clans, but like I say the player-owned guilds would be really enough, to be honest, because it's like your stamp on the world, and then that's it really. I guess like player-owned, well, not player-owned, fucking we could have like clan cloaks and other stuff maybe. But hopefully that answered your question, Luke. Was it? Yeah, you, Colin. You need to answer the what's the worst thing you'd see in Molior RS. Well, you would not like to see. So, Tristan's was Monopoly. Lynn's was like non-usable, well, just like cosmetic items which are like really expensive, like I don't know, stuff like party hats, pretty much. So, what would yours be?
Are we adding private instances to Boston?
Maybe.
If we aren't, then I don't want to see people like crowding that. Like what's the word? Like
Crashing?
Yeah, exactly. I hate that. Pisses me off.
That's just part of any MMO, though, I think.
Yeah.
Private instance.
There are people max stuff, and they stay there all day long, and nobody else is able to boss, and it's just annoying.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from.
I'm sure all the things that we said can't be stopped in most ways, but
yeah,
we could probably curve it.
Instances, like I said, it's 50-50. We need to actually build a boss and see how it all goes down first. The first boss we would build would be part of the Wilderness release, which would include the King Black Dragon and the Chaos Element, and maybe some custom bosses as well, because our old school has the Wilderness bosses, so it would be nice to add some sort of reason to go into the Wilderness, just not to PvP, of course. But yeah, I get where you're going at. I'm just trying to think of what to detail. What do you guys think of the fight arena at the moment on the stream?
It looks really good.
Any suggestions? Yeah. Obviously, I need to like do all the outskirts, but I'm just thinking.
Hang some people.
Blood. Yeah.
on that thing there. Like,
Yeah, that that looks good.
dead bodies and shit.
I'm trying to think what they would call it.
There must be blood.
Oh, a mass dead body pit of just tons of corpses.
Yeah,
I know it's
but that
rope
that
hanging.
satisfies my bloodlust too. So
I know there's. I'll put that one down for now. But I know there's another one. Let's see.
that
what-
like that screams concentration camp. So yeah, dig a hole and put bodies in it.
Essentially, you know.
I think I know what I'll do with that. It'll be
No
custom, of
concentration
course. But yeah, I know what I'll do for that. So give me a second. I know there's another person who is hanged or hanging from a piece of rope. So I'm just trying to find them. But,
There it is.
which one?
That guy.
Yeah, this one
He's
is.
dead.
There's another one. I'm trying to
Type in
find it.
quartz.
I already tried that. So let me type in rope. What about gallows? There we go. That's the one. So gallows body. So I'll add that one, not the big ogre. Actually, yeah, I'll add him, but I'll add this guy as well. So they are hanging from that rope, right? So add that one. Put that down. So swing him around. This is gonna look fucking menacing. Nobody's gonna go into the fight arena.
This is supposed to be for kids.
I'll add that one. Yeah, RuneScape. Well, Molior RS is definitely not like a kids game like RuneScape is.
No. Oh, we should
It's
add
fucking menacing.
prostitutes as well.
I was actually gonna plan on adding brothels into RuneScape.
I mean, it's not a bad idea.
It would make it more realistic, I guess.
Realistic as
Oh
possible.
yeah, you know, like
Brothel escape.
everywhere has brothels. Let me add a rope only.
Let it be noted that the nude mod has been announced.
There is.
Really?
I've actually brought that up in the
Oh.
live streams before. That
There actually.
yeah, there's a
okay.
nude mod. I actually
Let's-
sent you a picture a while ago, Colton. There was a nude female in Neverwinter Nights 2. You could see her breasts and her lower region.
We don't need that.
Her nether regions.
The nether.
Never Region Nights 2.
Here we go. I think I
Sounds
found
like
it.
a corner of Neverwinter Nights.
Yeah, not brothels, but well, I know something. I'll show it later.
Right, I'm
There
gonna
was
make a
something in someone
hole
else's campaign that we could use instead.
here. Right, so I'm gonna add a pyra. And it'll be large. So there we go. I guess I can make that a little bit higher. Actually, yeah, no, I'll get rid of the hole. Oops, what did I go back? So, I need to smooth the area here. But for Fight Arena, what do you think we could do for the Fight Arena? I think we mentioned this on last stream, but sort of like, now we have Tristan and Lynn's, so the Fight
How
Arena
about-
is only, well, let me give you a quick rundown. So the Fight Arena,
Okay.
Fight Arena in RuneScape is just used for one quest and then it's never used again, which seems really pointless because, you know, it's a Fight Arena, it's arena. We're probably going to make this place like a small town, so maybe we could add like a dagger shop, a leather armor shop, a general store, the very basics, and obviously there's a pub so you can buy drinks. So how would we make people come back to the Fight Arena?
Maybe like a radiant fight system
What do you mean by that?
where you can fight previous quest monsters, sort of like
The
don't know.
Dominion
Like the
Tower.
Dominion Tower.
yeah, exactly. Since we don't quite have that yet,
I'd
and
want it,
probably
the
won't for
Dominion
some time.
Tower is made in the desert module which I have. The Dominion Tower's there, so maybe not. So like because then we'd need like a reason to go to the Dominion Tower. And if we've already got like a place where you kill, monsters, what's the point in going to the Dominion Tower?
Maybe
Why
you can
not?
play street poker or something in there, where if you lose, you die. I have no clue.
What were you gonna
Why
say?
not?
Right, and we're back. Sorry about that. I disconnected for pretty much a second. Then it screwed everything up. So back on point. So we were talking about the fight arena and sort of like what we can sort of like get, how to make it sort of like why people should visit it and such. So Linz, you wanted to mention something, right?
Yeah, I was thinking, and Prif to have a rush of blood type of thing. We could do that, but add more Slayer monsters and scale it down to the lower levels, because I think the lowest level you can be is like 80.
Yeah. Um. So maybe like a low-level version of like Rush of Blood or the Fight Caves, where you have to sort of like su- pretty much survive these waves of monsters.
Yeah.
That could be a good. Maybe it could give you some sort of like unique item, like Rush of Bloods. You don't really get anything but titles, but it's a completionist requirement. Whereas Fight Caves, it gives you the Fire Cape. I guess we could do something like it gives you like a medium tier cape, which is good. There's not really any capes at all in game at the moment. This actually goes for RuneScape, to be honest. There's no good capes in RuneScape.
Other than the comp cape.
Well, when I say good capes, I mean like capes which give like, for example, you need a helmet for combat. You need like a plate body, a sword and shield, but there's no cape slots. There's like
Mithril cape.
a mithril cape.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how that would work because a cape is normally made out of cloth. But what my point is,
But it's mithril.
if you look in RuneScape, you've got the obby cape, and then you've got skill capes. There's like only two good. Well, you got stuff like Legends cape, God capes, the Fire cape, but apart from that, there's no really good capes, which seems stupid. So, if you're low level, so in Molior RS at the moment, there's capes, but there's no stat giving capes. So, for example, if you're level 1, you don't really need a cape, but maybe we should add some sort of capes, like custom capes, which give off stats, like there's the god capes, which give you extra prayer levels, so maybe some sort of like capes which are defensive and all that stuff. What do you think?
Honestly, I don't see how a cape can be defensive. I've never really seen a cape as something you would use to defend yourself, or I don't even understand the logic behind capes and RuneScape, but
Yeah, true.
other than showing showing off your achievements. It doesn't really do anything. It gives you, I mean, you can not wear a cape and still kill a boss pretty efficiently. And I just never really got the point of it. But I mean, I like the idea of it giving some sort of reward so people will want to come back. But I don't know if a cape is the best idea for that.
Let's say this place is obviously a fire arena, so it's like a bad neighborhood. Let's say it could give you a cape which increases when wearing, increases like I don't know, your agility level, your thieving level, and that sort of stuff. It's like a stat boosting cape. I'm trying to sort of like think of
How about just temporary items like prayer books or?
I I I'm thinking maybe it could just give like gold, maybe like the higher waves you survive, you start to get like gold and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, everyone likes
That would be camping. So
Leaderboards.
Yeah,
yeah,
true.
that would lead to elitism.
Well, you're gonna get that with an arena.
I don't know.
You ain't the champion, you ain't nothing.
Why
We
not?
already have-
We could do that, Aaron, but make it to where you can only do it like I think you can only rush a blood like what once a week or once a day
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Make it like raids where you can only do it like once every so often, so it eliminates the camping.
Yeah.
How about a temporary title like Elite Tristan Dorfire?
I don't want to see titles and I'm sorry, I don't want to see titles.
How about a temporary untradeable rare?
Something came to mind which might satisfy all your needs. So obviously this place is filled with Khazard troops and they're wearing Khazard armor. If you do fight arena, you get the Khazard plate. Maybe if going from your ideal and if you can only do it like once a day, maybe there's a small chance where you could get like a Khazard helmet or a Khazard sword and shield. This stat wise, maybe it's something like the same stats as like Mithril, but it just looks cooler. Maybe something like that, you know. What do you think about
Yeah.
that? And obviously, you're not going to get it every time you complete it. So, like, say if you're just that one type of person who likes collecting, you know, cool stuff, maybe you'd want to keep going to a fight arena every day to try and get this like small chance of getting like a Khazard helmet.
Yeah, but I would like to add gold in it since you can only do it once a day to keep
Yeah.
once they get those items they keep coming back so it eliminates the chances of it being dead content.
Yeah.
Luke934 has a great suggestion. Maybe a combination of both magic and crafting can be used so you can make capes with certain modifiers. That's an interesting idea.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like that.
I know there's some capes like the Aver Alerter and the Accumulator where it picks up your arrows. I can never imagine something like that happening, but maybe if you had that like backpack, it would give you like 50 steel arrows every day. Maybe something like that, but that's quest related, you know, not like what you suggested, crafting like with magic and crafting. It would be nice to craft. Maybe we take something from Runescape, which sounds dumb because we always take stuff from Runescape because we're basing it off Runescape. But you know, you have the total skill capes. Like
Yeah.
if you're level 10 in every skill, you get the level 10 cape.
Yep.
Maybe if it's like the low tier, like the very low tier of like not a god cape, a max cape. So, say if I'm in game, I don't have a good cape at the moment, but let's say I have level 10 in every skill. I can then craft a level 10 skill cape, which gives me like 1+ in every single skill. So like say if I'm level, I don't know, 15 prayer, and I need level 16 prayer to be like, to use like I don't know, rock skin. Maybe if I can just equip this rare, I get like a small one skill boost in all these skills. So it's not like a massive impact on your gameplay, but it's like a small boost. But say if you're like you got like a level 20 skill cape, it boost like +2 in every skill. What do you think about that?
That sounds good.
You can create this skill cape.
Oh yeah,
I like the idea of it, but I think it should be harder to get
well,
because it is boosting your levels.
well, it is you would need like say like for example the level 10 one, you would need like level 10 in every single skill, which would take quite a long time, I would say. Like, you know, you
Yeah.
gotta fish, and then you got like fire make and mine and all this stuff. I know you haven't played Molior RS the actual inside the game much at all, Linz, but to give you one example, I mined 30 ore in Dwarven Mine, and I was overweight. There's not a limit on your inventory, but there's well, there is a limit, but it's like you can carry like 90 items, but obviously that's gonna be pretty much freaking god mode if you can carry like 90 lobsters with you. But there's a weight thing, so if you carry too many items, it slows your character down to the point where you cannot move at all. So when I was playing single player, I mined like 30 ore, and I had to go to Falador. It literally took me 12 minutes to walk from Dwarven Mine to Falador. So that is like a very long time. So
Okay.
it's not like you can in RuneScape where you like camp one spot and then like get. It's a lot of running around, and because the project's a lot bigger in RuneScape, you're doing a lot of running.
Okay, that makes sense. So it does take time to level your skills.
Oh yeah, definitely. My single player account is level 8. Now consider this as like beta, you know, everything isn't perfect. My single player is level 8. I did like a lot of quests like Vampire Slayer and Goblin Diplomacy. I have like 2 weeks worth on it, and you know, I've only just got like mithril armor. So it does take ages, and obviously we need to look into stuff like how fast is it to get XP, are the monsters stronger. I think the only joke Molior RS has at the moment is like chickens won't hit you.
Okay, with that being said, are y'all gonna introduce teleporting? Because that could make that
Yeah,
easier.
we have teleporting already.
Okay.
Teleporting is part of rune crafting because we can't have combat skills aren't skills. So teleporting was part of magic, so we made magic part of rune crafting. So yeah.
Have you shown her the spreadsheets yet?
No, she's hasn't seen much at all.
All right. Okay.
So I've already spoken. Well, we've already talked about this. When I've asked Colton and Tristan in the past streams, but this is just for you, Lynn, since you haven't answered it yet. Obviously, I know you haven't played it, so you haven't played it really much at all. So I'm going to ask you 2 questions. So the first one is, what's the thing you're looking forward to do most in the project?
Getting a feel of like the game I used to like really love in a different way, in a different
Yeah,
way than the way Jagex would do things.
yeah, makes sense. And so the next one would be, because you've become a developer now, but obviously you're in the early stages. I know you only started using the toolset yesterday. What would be the best thing you think you could add to the project? For example, let's say I know Tristan. I think Tristan's one was like he would like to add like I don't know, farming. Actually, no. I think Colton's one was he'd love to add sailing, so like you could sail like a boat and all that stuff. So what would yours be?
Um,
I'll give you time to think if you obviously you need it.
Yeah, I need some time to think.
Well, I'll just explain about the tool set. So I was just detailing inside the camp. Not camp. God, everybody's got me thinking it's a concentration camp now. I'm detailing inside the arena. It's just gonna look like this evil place at the moment. Let me put the trees. Which it is evil. It's got these it's got the Khazar troops which are sinister and all that. But I'm gonna leave the camp for now. I said it camp again. Oh my god, it's stuck in my brain now. It is not a concentration camp. I need to get that out of my mind. I'm gonna leave the arena for now and sort of like work over to the Port Khazard because I need to work on something different. So we aren't always working on something the same.
Okay, I got an idea. I would like to see the, like, you know how this is kind of, I don't know, this is an off, just talk about old school, so I guess this is okay.
Yeah.
On Darkscape, you have, like, when you kill a player, you have, no, actually, this would be a better example. You know how in, ESO, when you attack a guard, they attack you back, and, like, they pretty much, you have a bounty on your head for a while. I'd like to see something like that when, like, you attack, like, a NPC, and a guard sees you, they immediately attack you.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see something like that, so that way, because in RuneScape, you pass a lot of NPCs and they don't do anything, they're just walking around.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more, the NPCs do more.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
If that makes any sense.
I can imagine we could add like they're just NPCs walking around towns to make it a little bit more lively, and then obviously to make it more reality. You don't want to kill be a mass murderer in this city killing, and then like a guard walks past you and does nothing. Yeah, I get what you mean. I'd like to add that. Colton, I know Tristan mentioned it. Wasn't there something you wanted to talk about, like reputation and all that stuff?
He had asked me if I wanted to talk about reputations when it comes to sailing. It's a little bit off topic, but let me find the spreadsheet here. Here we go, sailing progress. Yeah, so in sailing, there's 3 different faction type things that you can join. Pirates, the Royal Fleet, which is either Varrock, Artie, or somewhere else, and then a privateer, which is sort of like solo. So let me get the sheet up here. Where is it? All right, here we go. I found it. All right, so the first one is pirate. Everyone is hostile except for other pirates. Now those will be players and NPCs. The second one is privateer. You are neutral, but pirates are hostile. Royal ships aren't. And then 3 is a military position for each city, which is hostile to pirates, but not to privateers. It's still in other works and stuff can possibly change, but that's it so far. Is that what you were talking about, Tristan?
Yeah.
All right, there you are.
The reason I brought that up was because we were talking about getting mugged and being taxed. And that's like, hey, if you have reputation, just like you mentioned in forums, you need to have reputation as like, you know, people wouldn't love you.
Yeah. Um, with, I guess with those factions or reputation, I mean, well, no, never mind. I was gonna say it would be nice to add some sort of like faction into the east, especially the eastern lands, because you know it's the eastern lands. Maybe add some sort of like PvP aspect onto the eastern lands. So I'm trying to think. Maybe there's like one arc which is like PvP based. Um, let's say there's I don't know which arc, so I'm just gonna make a random arc up. So let's say, well, not one up, but let's say the shield arc. Let's say there's 3 leaders which are Khans in this arc, and there's say like 9 islands. Let's say each Khan owns 3 islands, and let's say there's faction A, faction B, faction C. So say if
And I'm sorry, but my grandparents are calling me to leave, so I gotta go.
that's no problem. Thanks for joining
I'm
us.
off to work. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
So say there's 3 factions. So say if I'm in faction A, and Colton's in faction B, and Tristan's in faction C. So to be honest, we would be all enemies. Let's say I'm exploring an island which has like apparently rumors of a treasure chest on it, so there's going to be gold, and I bump into Colton. I could then be able to attack Colton, which would be funny because, you know, say if you're sailing towards an island, and I see like Colton sailing towards the island as well, but he doesn't see me. I'm gonna sort of like wait to ambush him pretty much. And also, I don't know if it would be possible, but it would be cool to sort of like invade other people's ships. Like, say if I'm sailing on the open sea and I see like Tristan, I can then board his ship and sort of like attack him pretty much. And so like if I manage to kill him, I get whatever his ship was carrying. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, that's sort of what the factions are in sailing as well.
Yep, that's what we're doing.
Tristan and I are the masters of the sailing skill and stuff.
Get hard.
So I guess this would sort of wrap up the stream now. I just want to plant these trees down, and then I'll give a sort of like an overview of the map. So let me I'm trying to find them where these trees are in Runescape. So there's a tree there, and oh god, there's actually a few trees spotted around here. So I'm just gonna plant these trees randomly. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. I should get rid of that one and that one. Right, so what I've done now is sort of like detailed the fight arena and slightly port hazard. Let me just detail these islands here, or these small little things sticking out. There's obviously a lot more detail to go into, but I get distracted a lot on these streams, so it's hard to pay attention to building as well as trying to talk and all that stuff. So my process was slow, but I sound like a PC. But yeah, let me just do these, then I can show you again. There we go. Just add a small amount of grass on top, so put on 80. Get your grass and go around. There we go. So this is the fight arena, which looks really grim, and it's got a really good atmosphere. You know, it's not a friendly place because you can see these corpses being hanged, and there's like burning corpses of dead bodies and bones everywhere. The place is rather muddy and it's like really rough. Same goes for like the Port Khazard, you know. I need to detail the port more. But I'm gonna guess there's like, I don't know, one more stream to do to sort of like finalize this area. You know, detail the outskirts here. Like it's mostly just forest to here, or just trees, and then like to the west is the Trino Maze, which I'm not going to detail the outskirts on the stream. I'm going to leave that for another time. Well, I'm going to leave that before I tour the area. And yeah, so I would say the fight arena is as good as done for landscape only. What do you guys think of the fight arena? Or what do you guys think of the sort of like the overall appeal to the place?
Looks pretty good. Looks very dark.
Yeah. So again, there's Port Khazard. So yeah, that is the South Kandarin area. So thank you all for watching. Tristan and Colton, do you guys have anything to say?
No, not really.
Pass.
Well, thank you all for watching the stream. I hope you enjoyed. So peace.